Hello everybody. So today we all are here to talk about the IELTS speaking section. So as you may know, speaking section includes three different sections. So in section 1, they would ask you questions about topics like weather, people, and food, and occupation, and different hobbies that you may have or favorite pastimes. And in section 2, they would ask you to present a 2-minute presentation, and they would also give you 1 minute time to prepare yourself. And in section 3, they would ask you some questions which are basically opinion-based questions, and the topic would be related to the one which you had already answered in section 2. Alright, I hope you got an idea about the sections that we have in IELTS. Okay, now let's move on from here. So the first thing that we have to look at in speaking section is the kind of parameters that they use in order to evaluate your responses. All right, okay, so the first parameter that they look at is the fluency, and the second one is pronunciation, and the third one is lexical resources, I mean the vocabulary that you use, and of course the fourth one is grammar that you're going to use in your responses. Okay, so these four things would be used in order to evaluate your responses from 0 to band 9. Okay, and usually for either for immigration or for study purpose, we generally need about band 7 to band 8 for different categories. All right, so today we're going to discuss the responses that would be aimed mainly at band 7 and band 8. Okay, all right, now let's look at section 1 of speaking. Okay, now if you see this first part, as I said earlier, like they would ask you questions on daily topics that we generally use in our everyday life. Suppose the question is something like this: what would you generally do in your free time? If this is the question, a typical question rather, which you would get in section 1. Okay, so how would we answer this particular question? Rather, it looks like a very simple typical question, isn't it? Yes. Okay, if it's somewhere between band 5 to band 6, then my answer would be something like this, where my favorite pastime is watching TV and munching some favorite snacks that I usually do almost on all of the weekends that I enjoy. So this is something like a very bland answer, I would say, which actually doesn't convey much of the information. Rather, if I put a few more adjectives, a few more adverbs, and a couple of idioms, I would say, rather, the phrasal verbs and idioms and other beautiful words, if I can put in there, so that would be an interesting answer. Okay, so if I have to improvise this particular answer, then how do I generally do it? Okay, let me give you an example of that. Okay, so if the same question would be asked, so then for a band 7 to band 8, so how would I answer that? Okay, the question I would like to repeat. So what would you do generally on your free days? Okay, so my answer would be something like this. Well, I generally spend a lot of my time working, so I barely get any time which is free for myself. However, whenever I get that particular time, I would really like to go out and meet my friends on weekends. And if I really get any free time on weekdays, I would like to be a couch potato and watch some TV, as well as munch a couple of snacks which I really cherish to have. And not only that, whenever occasionally if I get the free time, I would really love to go for trekking or mountaineering or bungee jumping or any other kind of adventure sports. But I never ever spend my free time reading a book or listening to some retro music. I never do that. I'm not really that kind of a person. Okay, so this is a kind of answer that you would be giving for a band 7 or an 8 answer. Alright, and in the forthcoming classes, we would also be looking at what it really makes an interesting answer and how we can extend our sentences using the compound and complex sentences. Alright friends, this was just a beginning. So now on, we're going to go a long way in learning how to answer the questions which are asked generally across all the sections in IELTS. Alright, thank you very much. See you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you.